Hey guys, what's up? Hope everything is good. Now, Valorant has been in beta for a few days now, and I've probably clocked up around 40 hours of gameplay, and most of that being with Omen. So I'm going to make a quick video here, just sharing my experiences and the best way, in my opinion, to use Omen as a character. So I'm going to go over his abilities and also explain the best way, I think, of using these abilities and not using them too aggressively. So the first one is a teleport. You can see that is the max range there. The shortest range is here, and it can go about as far as that. Now, when you do use this ability, there is a sound cue and a audio cue. They're both very slight though, so it's not massively obvious, but you can't use it too aggressively because people will just realise that you've used it if they are paying attention. So a good way of using this is just to set yourself up early on. So if you're holding C long here, you can get on this box and just wait for them to come around the corner. Now, it's also definitely worth noting that after you've used the ability, you can't just instantly pull out your gun or instantly start moving. There's around half a second to a second where you're stuck on the spot and you can't pull out your gun. So you can't use it hyper aggressively and shoot everyone in the vicinity around you. You're basically a sitting duck and they'll just kill you. Now, the next ability is called Dark Cover, and it is essentially a smoke grenade. Now, when you start casting this, you can see there's a marker on the floor, which you can also see on the top left in the minimap, and you can move this marker forwards and backwards using hotkeys. When you cast it, a projectile slowly moves to the area and brings up a puff of smoke grenade in a circle, much the same way as other smoke grenades work in this game, which lasts for 12 seconds. Now, this ability is free, you don't have to ever buy it, and you get 2 at the start of every round. After you've casted one, there's a recharge time of 30 seconds, and then you get another one. So, as I said, these last 12 seconds, so if you're holding C long, and you keep on casting them, there's only 6 seconds where C long won't be smoked, so you can basically keep it smoked indefinitely. Now, this ability is great as attackers as well, because you can actually line them up through the wall. So say we are attackers on this bomb site and we want to hit bomb site C. The start of the game obviously is a buy phase. I can come up to this wall. If you look at the top left in the minimap, you can see the marker of where the smoke will land. So I can place one at the back of C and also on the right hand side of C, and that will give me a perfect rush opportunity. Another little tactic that I've come up with that I've had a lot of success using is to smoke the top of C long, then smoke again into the C bomb site, walk up here, clear it out of course, make sure no one's playing close, then teleport from one smoke to the other and shoot them in the back. Now, I've had a lot of success with this tactic. I say it works 9 times out of 10 at the moment, but of course the longer Valorant's out, people might get more used to it, more expectant of it, and might even hear the sound cues a little bit better. Okay, so the next ability is called Paranoia. It's a projectile, as you can just see, that goes forward. It does go through walls, and anyone that is on the other side of that will get partially blind, so they'll see a lot of purple around them. It's very good for kind of using it if they are rushing short or long. For example, on C, you can just put a flashbang down, it will slow them down, or maybe you can use that ability to then spam through smokes. You can also use it when rushing if you know exactly that you're about to go through a door, just flash in a line ahead of the door where you expect them to be, and then rush through and try and catch them off guard. And then finally we have Omen's ultimate ability, which is called From the Shadows. So I'll use that now, and what it does is bring up the entire map in front of you. You can then select anywhere on the map and teleport there. Now, there's a few seconds casting time, and when you are spawning there, they'll be able to see a shadow of you. If they shoot the shadow, it essentially cancels the ult and you appear back to where you started. But if they wait for you to actually spawn in and shoot you, you're just dead. So you can't do it in the middle of the open, because they'll just simply wait for you to spawn and shoot you dead, and that's it for you for that round. Now, for the first couple of days in the beta, I had so much success with this. I just literally went behind people and shot them in the back, but that's because people were new at the game. They did not understand the sound cues. There's also a couple of visual cues. So if you look at the radar when I cast this at the top left, it actually phases the radar. It looks a bit strange, and there's a sound cue saying From the Shadows or something similar to that. Everyone gets those sound cues and those visual cues, so everyone in the server will know that you have used your ultimate, and people will start just watching behind them, and they'll be a lot more aware that you've used it. So for the first couple of days, like I said, I had tons of success with this, but then now if I use it, I pretty much always have someone coming back and killing me. So you have to use it very much tactically. So what I try and do now is use it in a round where they're rushing A and I'm in C. I'll try and get to the back of A. So here's an example on the screen now of me getting a clutch using this ability.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds on B.
Down. Oh.
Where's bomb? A.
A.
One's just gone mid to A now. I'm behind him.
Last player standing.
Bomb was down, like, to your right.
10 seconds left. One enemy remaining. Clutch.
Beautiful.
So that's it for the guide of how I think abilities should be used so far. Obviously Valorant's fairly new and my opinions might change over the coming weeks. I think everyone is still learning how to play the game at the moment. I am going to have a bit of a video now taken from my Twitch, so if you want to watch me live, follow me at twitch.tv/RobDefault. I'll put a link in the description below. But I'm going to just show a few key rounds here and how I played Omen and why I played him this way. So this map is split. One thing I can point out as playing Omen is you can see me setting up here with some smoke ready to go down early on. I am playing with a shotgun, which is quite an unpopular decision in this game, but I really like it in certain situations if you are a defender watching a small choke point. This gun is terrible at anything but very, very close range, but at very close range it can be deadly if your aim is good. So you can see me use my abilities here when I know they're coming B to try and slow them down and get some backup. Coming B, a lot coming B. B, but
One enemy remaining.
don't know about that. Last in here, I don't know where he is. He's flanking.
Here. He's there.
Clean him.
Oh. In the way.
He's still outside B.
Just come back, Rob. I'll nade it. Let me know when you see him. Just spot it.
He's
And I'll
making
nade it.
footsteps. I'll shoot when I see him come on an angle.
I've got a nade primed and ready.
This guy's had a right bait on this round.
He's low. I goosed him.
He's not.
Tasty cheap. Shotgun on top load of juicy, innit? I like
So second round here. Now I am playing B solo and there's someone on mid who can rotate and help me. Because of the setup we have here, what I like to do is get an early spot onto B. So if there was someone there, I'd fall back, use my smoke ability and maybe ask for a bit of help from mid. Maybe rotate someone from A towards mid because you don't need 3 people there. But because it's clear, I am actually pushing through. Now I do get hit by a tripwire here, but I managed to shoot it before it goes off. Now they could have seen my location here if their communication is great, but I decided to still push because there's a lot of action going on and they seem to be playing aggressively. A few rounds later here, we're currently 3-1 up. What I did do at the start again is push down with a scout and try and get an early angle. It is a very risky play because they could be on AWPs at this stage, although it's quite unlikely because I was following their money. But I wanted to get an early spot because again of the setup we're playing, which I did get. So what I did then do is fall back and you can see me putting down smokes. I can also put those smokes down through the wall without peeking when I think one's expired. So really it's just holding them up and making sure that they have to commit with abilities if they're coming B, at which time I can then ask for backup. Now here is something that's very important in tactical first person shooters and that is switching it up. So they're used to how I'm playing on B now. They're used to me kind of having an early spot down and then falling back. So what I'm doing here is smoking, going to the end of the smoke and then teleporting behind the wall. Now only 2 kills there, I should have definitely had 3. But just the fact that I've done it once makes them always think about it. It will slow them down in the future and gives them something else to worry about. Now a few rounds later again, we are 5-1 up. Now one thing you might have noticed, which might have tilted you a little bit, is the fact that I actually had my ultimate ready after the second round because I got a lot of kills in the first and second round and I haven't used it yet. Now the reason I've not used it is because the ultimate is something that can be quite annoying to use because you can use it and go really far back behind their spawn and they'll just be sat there waiting for you because of those sound cues and because of those audio cues that I mentioned earlier. Now because of that I've started to use it a lot more tactically, so just use it at times where they know which bomb site I'm at, so they know I'm the B player for example, and this is the clip that I showed earlier in the video, but they know I'm the B player so I actually teleported to the back of A, so this gives a little bit more context behind that clip, the fact that they know that I'm the B player and the fact that I haven't used it yet. They just didn't expect me at the back of A. There are sound cues and audio cues, but if you use it at the right time, there's so much going on in this game that they might just not realise or might just not expect you to use it to really play quite defensive at the back of a bomb site. They might have thought, oh, he's used it, he's coming behind us.
If he comes to B heaven, Rob. B heaven's covered. Don't worry about B heaven.
Oh, you ran it back.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds on B.
Bomb down. Oh.
Where's bomb? A.
One's just gone mid to A now. I'm behind him.
Last player standing.
Bomb was down, like, to right?
10 seconds left. One enemy remaining. Clutch.
So switching it around to attackers now, I'm going to give an example of what I mentioned earlier about putting some smokes down and teleporting into the smokes. So you can see me setting up one there for the back of B and then one here for the front of the B choke point. What I then do is go and clear close smoke and then teleport into my second smoke. I'm in the back of sight now.
Just watching here.
One air up.
Now, to be honest there, I could have had a better trigger discipline because I gave the second guy a chance to escape, but the tactic still worked. The next point is about just taking your advantages. So because I got into B quite early, it's always worth, if you have a lot of people alive, just pushing and walking around. Now, never run in Valorant if you are kind of pushing behind people because footsteps are so loud, but if you can get an advantage of basically getting to their spawn or getting around the map without them noticing, that can be extremely powerful. Just make sure you walk and don't run. So that's the end of this video. I hope if you are an Omen class, you got something out of this video. If you have different opinions to me, let me know in the comments. But, you know, the game is great so far. And if you are not in the beta, hopefully these videos give you a chance to actually learn something about the game. So if you do decide to play the game when it comes out or when you do get a beta key, you can go in with a bit of information. Omen is a great class. You just have to use him correctly. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Do watch me live on Twitch and follow me on there if you haven't already. I am doing a full series about Valorant. This is episode 2. Episode 1 is on the screen now, so click that if you want to watch the first episode, and there'll be many more tips coming up. Thanks guys for watching, and see you next time.